Some pretty awesome scenery. Wow. Well, we're coming out of Terlingua today, heading towards Presidio, and then from Presidio down to Fort Davis to eventually our final resting place for the day in Alpine. We're coming out on Highway 170. I highly recommend this road. There's all sorts of scenery. There's valleys and cuts and monument-style cliffs and bluffs, wide open spaces to just like seem to go on forever like they do out west. It's a really nice road to ride. A few curves here and there, elevation changes. It's nice. It also gives you that feeling again of just how small you are and just how big this area is, because as you can see, it just goes on forever. Now, the hard part about making a video on this part of the ride is that there's so much to show. I mean, I kept struggling with what do I cut out? What do I cut out? I mean, trying not to make the video so long. But as you can see, there's just structures everywhere. There's cliffs, there's monuments, there's valleys. Elevation changes. It's a really nice ride. Highly recommend it for anybody that comes out. You must ride 170 because it is a really nice road. Again, though, it's just to really experience what we saw. You really need to be there because I obviously can't show it in an hour-long video to try to show you how we go through the valleys. But we were heading out of Terlingua. We got done there. Like I said, we're heading towards Presidio. We're going to end up in Alpine and be at Alpine for 2 days, 2 nights. And then while we're at Alpine, we're going to go see the Marfa Lights, which will be on the next video. That was an experience. Plus, I had an experience afterwards of the UFO UAP variety that I'll give you some details on in the next video as well. But as you can see, this is one heck of a ride through here. It was really tough for me to decide what to include and what not to include. So please come out and drive this road, ride this road, come and see what you can, because it is a very nice road to ride. A lot of it's scenery. As you can see now, we're pulling into a little rest stop. It has some teepee style shelters on the side. And we're going to take the drone up for a little bit and get an idea of what it looks like around there. After several miles, you start dropping down into more flat air, more similar to the area that we saw on the first video inside the park, heading to the fossil exhibit. It flattens out to more like a rolling desert with a few monuments in the distance. Still dramatic scenery, and it seems to get that more that way, more flat as closer you get towards Fort Davis. Still, highly recommend for you to drive or ride 170 out here. It is a nice piece of road.
Look at the colors along the river here. Wow. There's some nice colors. Just coming out of Fort Davis, heading up to the observatory. Wow, that's a lot of pretty color.
I believe these were cottonwood trees down by the river, just outside of town. Never seen such brilliant yellow before. Hopefully the GoPro gives it justice, but they were just radiant. I mean, glowing almost. And this followed for a couple miles down from where we turned near downtown, heading out towards the McDonald Observatory, and it was just along a little bit of a river there, brilliantly yellow. I mean, just blinding almost. And as a few miles out of town, it starts dropping out into more of a desert type environment again, as you can start seeing in some of these clips. It gets down to that sandy, scrub brush, barren-looking terrain, which I guess is what you need near the observatory anyway, because you don't want a bunch of stuff, trees or anything in your way. And the elevation starts to climb a little bit. As you'll notice, as we get further out, you can start to see some of those telescope housings sitting up on the sides of the hills where they can get a good look at the stars. Interesting ride out there, interesting territory. See some of those dots you can see up on the hill on the right, a couple of them sitting up there. Now, we got there late in the day. We missed all the tours. We could have done a self-tour if we wanted to. Again, we're old. We were tired, hot. We still had some running to do to get from here down to Alpine and get into our VRBO and get settled and all that good stuff. And so, since the tour was already done, we didn't feel like doing the walking tour by ourselves. I didn't bring a camera up there. Guess I'm not a very good YouTuber. I just don't seem to carry the camera with me everywhere, and if I get tired, I don't think about it. So I guess I need to work on that. However, it was an interesting ride up here. I think it would have been a very interesting tour. They have, but I could see 3 or 4 of those big, rollback roof dome things that have the telescopes in them up there. You can see them a little bit on the ride up there again. I think it probably would have been an interesting tour. They had a bunch of those radio telescopes there too, I believe. The big dishes, the satellite dishes, and one of them near the front door moved 1 or 2 times since we were there. So we basically just went in and found out the tours were over for the day. I bought a t-shirt. It has a bunch of the constellations on it that glow in the dark, so that was kind of cool. And then we kind of rode out the back way and did several more miles before getting to Alpine. So anyway, this is our trip to the observatory.
Park here. Across the bottom is probably the most level.